Hello everybody and welcome to Coffee Chat. Today my guest is Jeff Desender, who is representing this time the Neepawa Tourism Association, and we're talking specifically about the Riverbend Market, which is in its third year now, coming up very soon. So welcome to the show, first of all.
Thank you, glad to be here.
And let's kind of dive into this market. Third year, what is the Riverbend Market?
The Riverbend Market's been kind of this community-based endeavor where it's supported by community-based sponsors. Rather, they're part of chamber tourism, any of the associations in the community, as well as different makers and entrepreneurs, artisans, you know, all those types of creatives that are all over Manitoba. And it all comes together, and we put together this big community-based makers market, as it's called, to kind of create that sense of community, that belonging, and it all raises funds to go towards coming back into the community. Rather, it's different community upgrades or to nonprofit associations in town that put on programs, workshops, whichever, for all ages.
So that's what like the admissions into this market go towards. I think it's different every year, right?
The admissions go, the first 2 years of it, it actually went to help the town of Neepawa with the community pool upgrades that they were doing. This year, it actually, the proceeds from admissions goes to Arts Forward, which is our local multicultural arts center, for them to use towards putting on continual programs for youth and teens and
they've just done a huge renovation there as well. So
absolutely, yeah, that kitchen is beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait to use it.
Yeah.
So, you know, sort of explain, it's called a maker's market. You know, it's not, you know, craft market or a vendor market. We're calling it a maker's market. And what does that specifically mean?
We look at it more like the maker's market. You got to look at it in a sense of some of the vendors that you're going to see there create what they're selling. It's not just, you know, purchased, repurposed, sold. It is, they are literally creating it from nothing and then building their kind of vendor booth out of what they create out of these things, right? So there's different, there'll be a few vendors there that, you know, they have specialized in baby items or wood carvings or different things they've made with wood, rather it's cutting boards or what have you, and it's continues down that line, or it's people that have put in time and effort for the different meats that you're going to buy. Like there was last year, it was incredible to see there was actually someone with bison meat there. They put all this time in to you know, do everything an arbiter does and have it for sale at the market for people, right? So it's, we deem it as a maker's market because it's some element of it you've had to create something.
So these are all artisans.
Yeah. You've had to create something in order to be a part of it, right?
I think last year there was someone who was doing like birch brooms and things like that. Like things I had not seen at a market before.
Soap bombs, different candles. There's a bunch of
So it was really neat. All outdoor.
All outdoor.
In Riverbend Park. So how has that been working out?
It's been really good. We've been lucky with weather. We haven't really had to worry about any added rain locations, anything like that. We've been lucky that way. Riverbend Park is such a beautiful ambiance to it in itself, so it's kind of the perfect place to stick something like that. Because if you're a creative and you hail from Neepawa, even speaking from youth, I mean, Riverbend Park, a lot of us have either played a guitar down there, or we've wandered through it, or it's inspirational in some senses of the word, makers, artistic, somewhere in there, right? So then hosting down there just adds to the ambiance that Riverbend already has to our community as a whole anyway.
Right. And now this is a tourism event.
Correct.
So it's not just, you know, a fundraiser for various places. So how does this tie into tourism?
We, as a board, like the tourism board, we look for ways to promote our community and the people in it and those that support it. And, you know, the typical stuff for most nonprofit organizations or boards. So when we're involved, we'll look for, okay, well, what can we add? Can we add something for children of this age range, teenagers from this age range? What can we do to bring it a little more
Make
modern to the current
appealing
trends
to-
and kind of keep working our way through that. And we start planning this several months in advance.
Yeah.
Normally every meeting it's touched on, and we have a very dynamic board. So then we've got people from various age ranges that kind of add in their flares, their touches, and additions of what's cool, what's not cool, and all these other things, right? So it's definitely something worth coming and checking out. And
so do you have someone specifically on that tourism board who's kind of, I don't know, a job it is to sort of stay on top of marketing trends, to stay on top of things like that are really sort of popular in the market, in the province, in tourism?
For the most part, like we leave it open-ended for vendors. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a vendor and you want to come in and jump into it,
Yeah.
get a hold of the Riverbend Market Facebook page, send them a message, and they'll put you in, right? So we're not restricting people coming in.
Yeah.
When it comes to the event as a whole on the planning side, we're all very actively involved in it. There is one main curator, which is Jacqueline Farrow, and the previous years was Kelsey Wilson.
Yeah.
So this is Jacqueline's first year kind of taking over. She kind of got a lowdown how everything works and stuff from Kelsey, and then she's carried it on, and she's very like social media savvy and very creative in her own right, because she does the same thing some of those vendors do in her spare time as a hobby. So then that passion's there, right? And that understanding of what they're looking for and what
their needs are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she's kind of got that understanding. So she kind of oversees, she deals with the vendors and kind of the logos, like the updating of the logos, because some people might have noticed it's changed since last year, and kind of fills the board in on what needs to be done, and who would be the best fit to do it based on personality or what their skill set is or anything like that, right? And it's all come together incredibly easily, and
because it's just in its third year now, but it's sort of become one of the signature events of tourism, really.
Oh, it is. It absolutely is. Like, it draws in people from all over the place. And I mean, we've seen some postal codes last year. We actually tracked postal codes to kind of know. We had people that, kind of were traveling from up here from the States, and they had stopped in and checked out the market, and they had a grand old time. We've had surrounding areas like Minnedosa and Gladstone, Carberry. They've come this way. We've had people from Winnipeg and just all over Manitoba.
So as a tourism draw, it is already doing its job.
It is doing its job, yeah. Like, there's normally, I'd say, 600 to well over 1,000 people running through that market, if not more. Depending on how beautiful the weather is, how many people are traveling, that type of stuff. Yeah.
It is a weekend in July, so there's lots of people kind of out and about.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what do you think is special? What do you think is the draw of this market over other events?
For me personally, as a creative myself, I love the market, and we try to sponsor it in whatever way we can through my company every year, because events that promote creativity, entrepreneurship, and absolute imagination are very limited these days now. And the Riverbend Market houses all of that, because these people make a living off their imagination, their creations, and their ability to be an entrepreneur to promote it and sell it, right?
Yeah. I think an entrepreneurship is sort of a nice little keyword in there to sort of indicate one of the strengths of the market is these are people who are doing this, very seriously.
Yep.
This isn't someone who, well, maybe there's a few who, do it, a few days a year, but in general, this market is people who are taking their craft very seriously and putting on a very professional product.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. And some of them, like, if you folks come down, you might, see a vendor that you've seen at any of the other markets you've been to throughout the year that have happened already. Or you might end up meeting a new friend that next thing you know, hey, we're going to check out this festival over here in this community. And, oh, hey, we've seen them. They were at the Riverbend Market, right? Like, you never really know. But there is some vendors that this is all they do. Every single show across Manitoba, there's some I've talked to that even were down in the States for different markets, that this is what they do for a living.
Yeah. So what is different about this year's market from the last two? Are there any changes this year?
There's a few. Like there's new vendors that are coming this year. That was one thing we focused on. We wanted to try to bring back some of our old and add in a few, newer kind of options for people.
Right, of course, yeah.
So there's some newer vendors this year, as well as some are returning vendors as well. And then we've got activities that are going to happen Friday evening, as well as Saturday throughout the day, that are put on by actually one of the kids clubs from one of the local businesses here.
Okay.
And it's going to be fun for all ages.
So what kind of activities are going to be going on?
Well, there's set up to actually be face painting done by one of our local Indigenous artists and dear friend Melissa Perieski. She's going to be doing face painting and that for kids, adults, whatever. If you're like me, you'll get your face painted just because your kid wants to, right? But she's going to do that on Friday. And then Saturday, Neepawa Gladstone Co-op's Kids Club is going to be there, and they're going to do kind of a craft. Okay. Like a craft tent kind of deal, so you can go in and basically create a craft.
So I'd imagine that Co-op is then sponsoring that kind of that portion of the
and like their marketing manager is actually a tourism board member.
Right.
So then it works hand in hand, and then of course like there's the same musical ambiance that everyone's come to expect from my company that'll be there as well, and it's gonna keep what everyone knows. The only difference is the live performances and stuff aren't really going to be there this year.
Okay.
But it'll be made up for in many other avenues.
Well, it sounds very exciting. One of the things I really think is really interesting is, like, Neepawa used to have the Lily Festival. It used to have this town-wide festival. It's been many, many years since we've had that now. And we've never really created something else. And what's been happening with the Riverbend Market is other people in town are like, okay, we have this ready-made audience coming to town, and they're making, it's basically value added. There's these other events happening in town at the same time during the weekend. I know you probably can't speak to everything, but sort of what other things are going on?
Well, I know Yvonne at Arts Forward. She has a absolutely phenomenal artistic idea going on with the raft this year. So I definitely recommend making the stops and checking that out with what she's got planned. Past that, I don't know a lot of the other stuff going around town. But I invite you, if anyone's watching that can fill me in, please do. Absolutely, please do, because with tourism, we love to know about anything going on in town. It doesn't matter if it's big, small, you're a business owner or just a standard person, right? If you got something going on, let us know.
And so RAFT stands for Riverbend Arts Forward Farmery Tour, right?
Exactly.
Right. So we've got kind of the farmery involved there as well.
Farmery is a huge supporter in the community. I'm not sure exactly if they're going to do anything this weekend. I know sometimes they did, like, discount on tours or stop by and check
I know they're
out
certainly
our brewery
doing tours,
or anything like that. So I don't know if they're going to do like a special thing on Riverbend Market weekend or not. But I'm sure there's tons of businesses and stuff around town that are likely going to do something. I would imagine. And
I know, just because I'm involved in it, part of RAFT this year is the public art portion, where there are going to be artists around town painting benches, which is kind of really exciting. We don't have a lot of artists. All local artists. All local. Locally made benches. This is by the men's shed.
The men's shed in town,
made these benches, going up in various locations around town, because we don't actually have a lot of public seating in the downtown area. So they've created these benches, and there's a couple existing ones they're painting as a live public art project during the Riverbend Market, which I think is an exciting project.
Oh, absolutely. It's an incredible idea. And I think it promotes exactly what the market is supposed to, is community. No matter what, we're in it together, we're creative together, and that's what the market embodies, right? And Arts Forward gets it, Farmery gets it, pretty much most of Neepawa does. We're a very, involved community.
Yeah. So you've been getting a lot of buy-in for the market. Like people are really like getting what you're trying to do and getting involved.
I think for the most part, well, we'd like to think so anyway, right? But everyone you talk to about the market, they're always pleasant.
Yeah.
They count the days until it's coming, and they just love it.
It's certainly, and you know, being in sort of mid to late July is really great timing to have something going on as well.
Well, and the campground's full swing at Riverbend too, so
You've
that you
got
can.
the new water slide at the swimming pool you're right next to, so.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I know my son absolutely loves that slide.
Yeah.
I think he pays more attention to the slide during swimming lessons than his actual lessons, but.
That's the danger, right?
Yeah.
New toy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what other things then, being involved with tourism, are sort of coming out of the market, or just in tourism in general in the town? What kind of initiatives are happening?
We're avidly looking for suggestions, ideas, and we try to make our own as well. Like this year, to kind of help amp the market up a little bit, like we added 50-50 raffle, stuff like that, which you see is quite common with other surrounding areas. We're getting involved very much so on the artistic side with the mural project.
Yes.
You've seen those. We just the fourth one went up on the Yellowhead not that long ago, and it was actually painted from a photograph taken by a local photographer, Jody Baker, and it was an absolute phenomenal photograph, and the art students at NACI just mesmerized everybody with the way they portrayed that picture. Like it's
beautiful.
It's absolutely astonishing. We actually have one on your building.
Yep, one we were lucky enough to get one of last year's on this building here.
There's an incredibly beautiful one that I fell in love with the minute I seen the design for, and that's on Arts Forward.
Yeah, right on the front of the building.
Right on the very front of the building, right on Main Drag. You can't miss it. The other one is on the side of Red Apple.
Right, and so the idea behind that, and we've talked to Katie about this a couple of times while it's been in progress. She's the driving force behind the mural project.
Yep.
Is 2 a year is the idea. One designed by the students, one based on a photograph by a community member.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's all within local and Neepawa area collegiate institutes. Art students. They're the ones that do the painting.
The students do all the painting on these. Yeah,
and it's absolutely
they create these.
It's incredible. Like if you're in town, you definitely
and
have
so
to check
we've
them
got
out.
enough now that there's actually a mural tour forming.
Yes.
Or to go around town and check these out.
We are putting together a walking tour as well. Historically and kind of, newer age.
Yeah.
So there'll be that to kind of keep your eyes on social media stuff for. There's lots of different things in the works.
Yeah. That
we're kind of putting, the little pieces together to be able to come out and announce everything outright. We focused the last little bit on merchandising, so when people travel through, and I've talked to tons of people in my travels that absolutely love Neepawa, but they had no idea that there was merchandise or anything like that. So we just released a reusable tote bag that has Jody Baker's
beautiful designs. Yeah. Like these are not generic Neepawa, Manitoba designs. These are artistic designs that are being placed on these.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, like the hemp bag and everything was all done by our local design specialist, like Promo Time.
Yeah.
Right out of Neepawa. The photograph of the Northern Lights was actually taken at the High Life Back 40 by Jody Baker, which is a local photographer. And then it's got our Neepawa tourism logo from our rebranding and stuff that's on the back of it. And we figured you can at least take a little bit of us with you no matter where you go, right?
And the funny thing about Neepawa is, and the tourism just reformed a few years ago. For many years before that, we did not have a tourism association. We did not have any Neepawa merchandise. And I think the town realized at that point that there was a danger of just passing us by, and there was opportunities there. So do you think, like with the last few years of tourism, you've been involved for probably a couple of years on the tourism now, right?
I've been with the board, well, it's got to be 3-4 years.
3-4 years now,
yeah.
Have you seen a change in the way that the tourism, the general public, the people passing through, see Neepawa?
I have, actually, kind of with, the people definitely help. Like the people in our community, they're amazing people.
Yeah.
And they definitely help to make Neepawa what it is. And it's with the mural project and Riverbend Market, Farmery has definitely kind of changed the vision point a little bit on Neepawa as well.
Yeah.
And then, like we're constantly developing the economy side of things too. And it's becoming more and more as the years progress and tourism gets more actively involved. The town itself is doing more now too to promote people coming here. There's numerous programs going through town now, and it's just, to me, Neepawa is starting to feel more like a booming little city than just a small little town, right?
And I think some of the projects that tourism, especially in its involvement with the arts community, has been making our downtown area a more walkable space.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we kind of want to do. We want you to walk around, and we want you to kind of take in what all of us have grown to love over the years that we've been here, right? And then make your way down to Riverbend Park or the bird sanctuary at Park Lake.
Yeah.
Check out our historical buildings that are around town, and just enjoy what Neepawa has to offer.
Now, this might be a question that would be better directed towards Marilyn Crew than to you.
Yeah.
But do you have any sense of what the economic impact of the rise in tourism has been? That's probably a Marilyn question.
That would probably be, like Marilyn is a phenomenal EDO.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been around here since I was a kid, and I haven't seen as much innovation come through this town than when she started kind of taking over and helping guide and push things in the right direction. And she's very actively involved with the community. Like, normally, if you have an event that's on, you're more than likely Marilyn's going to pass through there at some point. She may not be able to stay long because she is a very busy woman, but she will be there at some point. She always tries to support everyone.
And she's very actively involved with tourism.
She is. Yeah. Yes. Yep. Yeah. She's at every meeting. She gives us somewhere to meet, so we're not, discussing over email, stuff like that. She's definitely a solid asset to the board and the town.
And I know that tourism has in many ways done its due diligence in putting out surveys and things and seeing what people outside the community and inside the community want.
And we always are avidly trying.
Yeah.
I mean, we live in an age now where it's a little bit harder to get people to fill out a piece of paper, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
So we
they need
trying
clicky buttons.
Right? Yeah. We get the staple buttons.
That's the technical term for it, the clicky buttons.
Get the easy buttons.
Yeah.
But we're trying to move as much as we can into a digital side.
Yeah.
But we also are a community, that we have a lot of retired members that avidly support everything that goes on in the community too. And technology is good to a certain age.
You need to blend.
So we need to be able to blend those together. So we're kind of, what I meant by a diverse board is some of us are very good with technology. And some of the other ones are just at that right age range where they're very physical documentation, physical stuff, right? And very much the community's split down the middle that way too. Yeah. Right?
Although speaking of diversity, how much has the tourism board at this point intersected with the Filipino community in town?
We try every chance we get to be involved.
Because certainly there's been a big event just came and went a few weeks ago. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We try to be as actively involved as possible. And yet again, is one of those things like PhilCan or any of them, like if they reach out to us, then, we'll definitely help. One of us is going to volunteer to come help your event, or fill out a sponsorship sheet and maybe we can help you with your event.
So you would say you'd be actively looking for Filipino members of the tourism board?
We would, all the members we can get. We'd love it. Yeah, absolutely.
So if you're watching this, there is an opportunity there.
Yeah, come and be a part of, it's an incredible board, and we've got people from all different avenues of career and skill sets, and it's, the meetings are never boring. I can say that. We laugh, we joke, we have a great time, and we focus on what we all love, right? Which is the town of Neepawa.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just bring it back to the market before we close out here. Make sure we have all the impertinent details out there. Dates and times again?
July 21st, 22nd. On July 21st, we're looking 5 till 8 p.m.
Okay.
And then on Saturday, it'll be 10 till 4 p.m.
Okay. This is all down Riverbend Park.
Yeah.
Just off of, I don't even know if there's a street address, but it's just off of
Davidson
Hamilton
Street.
and Davidson.
Yeah, right on the corner of Davidson Street and Hamilton Street.
And you can see it from number 16 highway. So
absolutely, we'll have our signs and flags up, so just watch for them and follow the arrows.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time today and for all your information. I'm really looking forward to getting down there.
Oh, it'll be a great time.
And thank you all for joining us. I hope you see you down at the Riverbend Market.